S&S just announced their first Axis coaster, but what if I told you this idea looks like a combination of two former Aero designs? To see the first one, we need to travel back in time to the year 1981 when Kings Island would open the Bat. Not this bat that would open in 1993 under the name Top Gun, but this bat, the first aero-suspended coaster. Only problem is the first of its kind ride would have many issues that deserve their own video, but the basic idea is that Aero did not feel the need to bank the turns because of the swinging cars, leading to many issues and to the track splitting each day, leading to lots of downtime. Aero would learn from these mistakes and make some very successful suspended coasters, like the Bat I mentioned earlier, Vortex at Canada's Wonderland, Iron Dragon at Cedar Point, and finally Big Bad Wolf, which would have its own issues, but it was still much improved from the original Bat at Kings Island. Aero's next and final major innovation would come in 2002 when Six Flags would open X, the world's first 4D coaster. Designed by Alan Schulke, who would later become the lead designer for Rocky Mountain Construction. However, sadly, this would not work out for Aero because the coaster ended up costing more than expected and had many issues, leading to lots of downtime, and also would lead to the downfall of Aero, with S&S buying the rights to the company. This would lead to S&S building two new 4D coasters, being Dino Conda in China and Ejinika in Japan. Both of these coasters would not have the same issues as X. This would lead to Six Flags calling S&S to come change X, with including new trains and new effects, with the ride reopening in 2008 under a new name, X2. Now you may be asking, how is the S&S Axis coaster a combination of the suspended coaster and the 4D coaster? Well, simple. If you look at the track and trains, you can see some clear similarities between the three coasters, as the Axis coaster moves from side to side like the suspended coaster, but instead of just going from side to side, the train can now swing completely upside down, and the track changes from normal to inverted at different points of the ride, very similar to what the 4D coaster did, making it seem that S&S has taken the idea of the suspended coaster and added the flipping of the 4D coaster to make a more thrilling ride experience. Now that I have told you why I think the Axis coaster is a combination of the suspended and 4D coaster, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the first Axis coaster and a few parks that could get one in the future. The first Axis coaster is named and themed to Transformers and will be an indoor coaster that hits a top speed of 35 miles an hour and seems to have a short layout and does not look to be one of the most thrilling coasters. However, the flipping of the cars could make this coaster much better than I expect, but I think this is just a start for the Axis coaster if it does not have many major issues, because with the launch and flipping cars, S&S can do a lot with this coaster, as it can have rides that focus on fast-paced, low-to-the-ground elements, or a much larger-scale version of the ride, which focuses on high-to-the-ground flipping. Now, what parks could I see getting one? Well, the first park is Cedar Point, because Cedar Point is running out of rides that they can make record-breaking versions of, so they need to find something different. So why not the Axis coaster, as it can make the world's tallest, fastest, and longest one, breaking records without spending the money to go taller than Falcon's flight, and also taking up a smaller footprint. However, this could have some issues because S&S does have problems with downtime, so this could be a huge risk for Cedar Point, which is not something Cedar Fair has done in the last few years. However, with the merging of Six Flags and Cedar Fair, could make this possible with Six Flags love for the S&S Free Spin. Another Cedar Fair park I could see getting a Axis coaster is my home park, Kings Island. One spot I have picked out is the Vortex plot of land. This plot really needs a nice-looking coaster, and the moving trains could make this a very nice-looking coaster, with a train flying by the path near the plot of land. Then another nice plot would be the Invertigo and Congo Falls plot, because these rides will both be removed in the next 7 to 10 years, possibly to make room for a new coaster and front gate, with the Axis coaster being able to fly over it, making a much nicer front entrance for the park, and giving them a much needed coaster. Another spot this could go is maybe the Tomb Raider building as a shuttle coaster, but that seems very unlikely, and that building will most likely be torn down. But most likely, the next Axis coaster will end up going overseas. Give me your thoughts on the Axis coaster down below, and tell me which park you think will get an access coaster in the future. Bye, guys. See you all next time.